So in the last class we were discussing was about the Clausius Clapeyron equation. So what this equation was, this was telling us the effect of the change of the pressure on the temperature conditions, that was on the melting point, boiling point and the sublimation. That was for the reversible phase transformation conditions, where there was only the change in the phases we were seeing and there was no change in the temperature pressure conditions, they were remaining to be the same. So today we are going to look upon to the integrated form of that equations, and then we will be looking upon some of the questions related to this topic that has been asked in the exams, and then we will be moving on to the further topics. So let us begin with the integrated form of that Clausius Clapeyron equation first. So our integrated form of Clausius Clapeyron equation. Equation. So we know that dP by the dt, that was the effect of the change of the pressure, dP by the dt, this was given as delta S upon the delta V, where delta V was the change in the volumes. So we are beginning with the first one case, that is for the melting process. In the melting process, so what happens in melting is that solid is in equilibrium with the liquid, that is a reversible phase transformation is there between the two of the phases. So for this particular case, our dP by the dt, it will be written as delta S, that is for the melting or the fusion process that is required, upon the change in the volume. That change in the volume will be volume of the liquid phase minus the volume of the solid phase. This expression you are going to make use when we are given the values of the change of this entropy value is given to us, that is delta S for this particular reversible phase transformation is given to us. Okay, so we are going to make use of this if our delta S for the fusion is given. Okay, so next is dP by the dt, it can also be written in the form of dP by the dt, it will be written as delta H upon your T into the delta V, where delta V is volume of liquid minus of the volume of the solid. So this is the one. So for this we can write dP will be written as delta H upon the volume change, volume of liquid minus of the volume of the solid into the temperature in the denominator into the dt. So now integrating both the sides, we get integration is equal to our delta H upon the volume of liquid minus of the volume of solid, because these are the constant values, so I am taking it outside the integration now. So this will become 1 by T into the dt. So the limits for this will be pressure going from P1 to P2 and your temperature going from T1 to your T2. So solving this, we get pressure ranging from P1 to P2. This is equal to your delta H upon the change in the volume, that is of volume of liquid minus of the volume of the solid, into the natural log of the T, because the integration of the 1 by T dt will be equal to the natural log of the T, and the temperature is ranging from our T1 to the T2. So putting the values of these limits, so P2 minus of the P1 will be given as delta H upon the volume of liquid minus of the volume of the solid into the ln of T2 by your T1. Okay, so this is what the integrated form is there. So P2 will become equal to your P1 plus the delta H upon the volume of liquid minus of the volume of the solid into the natural log of T2 by the T1. That means if one of the pressure conditions we know and the delta H for the fusion process and the change in volume is given, so we can find the value of the pressure at the other temperature conditions that could have been asked in the questions. Okay, so this is what this is there, integrated form for the cases where we are having is the melting cases there. Okay, so next process will be our, so previous one it was melting, next process is our vaporization process. So now we are considering is our vaporization process. So what happens in the vaporization? Our liquids get converted into the solid. So these are in the equilibrium. Here instead of gas we can write it as the vapor only. So dp by the dt for this particular case will be written as delta H upon the T into the delta V, that is going to be volume of vapor minus of the volume of the liquid. Now we know that volume of the vapor, it is much larger as compared to the volume of the liquid. So this implies this change of the volume of the vapor and the liquid will be approximately equal to the volume of your vapors only. So our dp by the dt, it becomes equal to delta H upon the T delta V into your volume of the vapor phase. So now we know that the gases that we generally take, they are your ideal gases. So our for the ideal gas, so that equation which is your PV is equal to nRT, or the PV is equal to RT for the 1 mole of the gas, that is going to be followed. So the volume of the gas, it comes out to be RT by the P. So just substitute this thing in your previous equation. So your dp by the dt, it will become equal to delta H upon the T into the volume of the vapor, that is equal to your RT upon the P, that P will go in the numerator. So this becomes equal to delta H into P into the upon the RT square. So it will be just rearranging this delta dp by the P, this is equal to your delta H upon the R into the 1 by T square into the dt, right? Just the pressure terms I am taking on the one side and the temperature terms we are taking it on the other side. So now integrating this, so on integrating it, we are going to have as, so the integration will be for dp by the P, it is equal to your delta H upon your R into the integration of 1 by T square into the dt. So 1 by P dp, it will be equal to ln of the P. Okay, this firstly we are integrating it without the limits, integrating without limits. Two of the cases will be there, one will be the integration without the limits and the other will be with the limits. So firstly without the limits, it becomes like this, delta H upon the R, and it will become integration of t raised to the power minus of the 2 into the dt, and we know that integration of any x raised to the power of the n into the dx is given as x raised to the power of n plus 1 upon the n plus 1. So here instead of x we are having is your t, and instead of the n you have is your minus of the 2. So this becomes, this integration will become equal to a t raised to the power of minus 2 plus 1 in the denominator also minus